Hi guys, I'm just going to show you an alternative to using the contour command, and what we're going to use is a command called section, and that'll give us a lot more control. I think it's more flexible and maybe more intuitive in terms of how it's used, and probably more practical for what we want to do. Before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and create my box to create an intersection with this surface. So I'm going to just set the box corner at 0 and then 23 like that. I'm going to go into solid and intersection, and so now I have my intersection like that. What I'm going to do is just copy and paste a copy of that so you can see the difference. And so to start my command, I'm going to go to the top and just type section. And when I start it, I want to make sure that group object planes by section is set to yes. Join curves should also be set to by section plane. And I think I'm done there. So now it's asking me to select the objects. So this is my object. Press enter when done. Started the section, and I want to make sure that this is selected to yes as well, extend section. And so now when I drag a line, it's going to give me a section of that line in my top and perspective view. And again, to make things horizontal, you want to hit your shift key, so that'll sort of constrain things. And I'm now sort of free to place these lines wherever I want. If I set one right at the bottom here, it'll just give me, because it's not intersecting with the actual surface, it'll just end up giving me a square in the end. So when I'm done, when I'm happy with what I have, just right click, and now that's the result that I have. If I hide this for a second, you can see the curves. And the advantage to this, obviously, is that I can sort of decide where I want this to happen within my design. So maybe there's an area of detail I want to sample close to the top, to the opening here. Perhaps I want to sort of also concentrate on some detail at the bottom, and I'm not so interested in stuff in the middle. So this gives me a lot of flexibility that way. Another option that I want to show you, or another variation, if I go into rendered view right now, perhaps there's an area in here that I want to make sure I collect, and it might be difficult to actually see where it is here. The area of opportunity is pretty narrow here. So if I were to select this object, and in my front view I'm going to run a scale 1 dimension, or 1D. Actually, I don't think that did it. Hold on a second. Scale 1D. I'm going to snap on the object using my end snaps here and pull it out a little bit. And so what happens now essentially is the nuances here, the nuances in this surface here, become much more exaggerated here. And that gives me a lot more opportunity to pick up some of this detail. You can see the difference between these two here. So it's just stretching things out essentially. So if I go back in here and do my section command, I can now you can see down here I have a lot more chance of getting the detail that I might have been missing before. You also notice that we can do as many lines as we want. Even though we have 4 pieces of wood that we're going to be dealing with, so we want 4 profiles in the end, we can edit this after the fact. So you don't have to limit yourself to just 4 lines to start. You might end up finishing that command and then sort of deciding which of these lines you want to keep, which ones you want to get rid of. As long as in the end you have 4 lines, we're going to be okay. So the editing could happen after the fact. Yeah. So I think I'll discuss how to get to the printing part in the next tutorial, because I've discovered some new things that I think will help a lot. So I'll see you there.